Alright, so today we're talking about beef jerky. We're just down at Atwood's. Want to get the beef jerky, talk about where it fits into your food storage planning, your food plan, long-term survival plan. This is our Prepper Pantry Pick of the Week series. Every week we take you shopping with us, pick out one item, and then just talk about nutritional information, shelf life, important stuff like that. So today we were at Atwood's. We picked Iowa Smokehouse home style original beef jerky. This was $10.69. Beef jerky is expensive, right? So what do you get? What do you get in a container? And we also want to talk about making beef jerky at home and some pointers and tips on that. So $10.68. There's 5 servings per container, 80 calories per serving, 400 calories total. So this is 400 calories of tasty beef jerky for $10.68, right? Which is a lot of money, I think, by most perspectives. Depends on where you're at, certainly. So 400 calories total. So if you wanted to just live on beef jerky, I'm going to use 2,000 calories as my number today. 2,000 calories is the FDA recommended daily intake, and that's what all the little numbers about, all the percentages and stuff like that are based on 2,000 calories. Your dietary caloric intake may vary, right? So I'm not telling you to eat 2,000, you have to eat 2,000. But to get to 2,000 on beef jerky alone, you would need 5 packages, 5 of these packages, which would get you 25 ounces or 1.5 pounds of beef jerky. So if all you were doing was living on beef jerky, you want to get to 2,000 calories, you'd need 5 of these packages, and that would cost you $53.40, which is about $35.60 per pound. So that is a lot. That's a lot of money. It's one of the more expensive prep items out there, long-term food storage or any food items out there is beef jerky. It's pretty high up on the cost, even compared to stuff like freeze-dried. So if you're making it yourself, right, how do you justify $35.60 per pound? Well, it takes from 2 to 4 pounds of meat to make jerky. So for $35.60, you're getting 2 to 4 pounds of meat, which is still a lot. That's still more expensive than just buying the meat yourself and making the jerky. That's certainly an option. We have a dehydrator, highly recommend dehydrating. So if you ate the 5 packages, 1.5 pounds of beef jerky, you would be getting 50 grams of total fat, which is 75% of your daily, which isn't that bad, right? Not a ton of fat in jerky, because the dehydration process pretty much clears that out, and you don't want to dehydrate fat. So it's the process, not the meat, that clears the fat. Total cholesterol is 750 milligrams, which is 250% of your daily, so you get about 2.5 days worth of cholesterol in one day. Total sodium, 13,250 milligrams, which is 575% of your daily. So one day of eating jerky is equal to 5 days of salt. Total carbs, 75 grams, which is 25% of your daily. Not a lot of carbs in meat, maybe some extra carbs along the way. And you get 275 grams of protein, which is between 50. So 275 grams of protein. It doesn't give a percent of daily, and a lot of them don't give a percent of daily on protein. We like to talk about between 50 and 200 grams of protein a day. It really depends on you and your diet. The numbers aren't as obvious there. So you do get some iron and some potassium along with all the meat. So one of the advantages of jerky, I think one of the things people like about jerky, beside the convenience of already cooked and ready to eat meat in a little package that's shelf stable, is the overall shelf life, right? This will last a little while. So there's some important numbers here, and I have a warning at the end. Unopened, manufactured sealed jerky can last 1 to 2 years. So this is unopened, manufactured sealed, can last 1 to 2 years. There isn't necessarily an expiration date on here. I'm sort of guessing that number is BB061425B5. The 061425 could mean 2025. I'm kind of guessing. But you'd expect 1 to 2 year shelf life. So if you make it yourself and vacuum seal it at home, they're saying 3 to 6 months shelf life. And that's a big difference, 3 to 6 months versus 1 to 2 years. And I think one of the reasons for that is you've got sodium nitrite in the beef jerky. It's one of the ingredients. I suspect a lot of people at home aren't putting sodium nitrite in their beef jerky. Maybe they are. There's sodium nitrate, sodium nitrite. Those are basically curing salts, right? You have to be careful with those. I wouldn't just sprinkle it on willy-nilly. They can be toxic. The process of curing, preserving the meat, over time they become less toxic, but they could be toxic, so it could be an issue. So vacuum seal it at home 3 to 6 months, open refrigerator 1 to 2 weeks, and then freezing it. If you freeze this package, it could add up to another 12 months. So how do you tell if it's gone bad? And I think that is important. Getting rained on here. First, and this was from smokedmeats.com, first you'll want to look at how the jerky feels. Usually beef jerky is firm but pliable. When it's gone bad, you may notice that it is either now dried up and hard or mushy. Any change from the original texture indicates deterioration. Another thing you can look for is how it smells. When beef jerky's gone bad, it will have a different smell. Initially, it may just smell slightly off, but the worse it smells, the more it's deteriorated. It could even smell rancid, right? And then finally, you want to look for signs of damage from moisture. Things could include mold, mildew. You may even notice the jerky in part or whole is starting to change colors. Any growth, such as jerky's fuzzy appearance, are a warning sign. Any kind of warning signs, any kind of sign that your jerky's gone bad, throw it away, right? In terms of why is the foodborne illness? Any kind of meats, you figure you're taking a piece of meat, you're leaving it on the counter for a couple years. Eating spoiled beef jerky can lead to food poisoning, as the bacteria that causes it to spoil can be transferred to your digestive system. Symptoms of food poisoning include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, and abdominal pain. In several cases, food poisoning can cause dehydration, organ damage if left untreated. So you got to be careful on eating expired rotten beef jerky. Don't do that. Keep an eye on the product itself. If you do plan on storing it for a long time, once again, you probably make it at home for less. If you don't have experience with curing salt, sodium nitrate, sodium nitrite, be careful, get educated on that before you start using it. If your intent is to extend the shelf life beyond, say, the 3 to 6 months you might get at home. So I hope that helps out. And boy, enjoy your beef jerky 1 to 2 years. It certainly can be an addition to your long-term food storage pantry if you can afford it, right? It's certainly not cheap. $10 for a small pack, $50 or 2,000 calories worth is expensive, right? It's on the more expensive end. So I hope that helps out. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate you.